In England, when we went to the various studios, they were really
Tiny.
small.
Very tiny.
And I said, how can you develop all of these routines in a small area and then go to a competition? And then I don't know which one of the English people told me, it was one of the ladies, they said, all of our steps are little small pieces that you can put together like a puzzle. So if the room is short, you have a short line of dance, you can put together your little routine using these various little pieces of a puzzle. Then if you have a long line, you can put these little pieces together to make a long line. So you could learn in our small studio all these little pieces. And then we send our professional couples that we train to Hammersmith Ballet
Did you ever go there?
No, but I heard
on the
Oh, it's
weekend.
phenomenal.
In the
work in a
weekend.
small studio space, but then they could go dance.
The
Yes,
urban,
and
the
they-
urban
that's when-
school was really
A
tiny.
lot of
And
them
she
are-
said that that's where they learn to add pieces and move
Maneuver
around
and
and
extend
maneuver
and
with
learn.
other people on the floor. And then they come back to the small studio and they say, well, where did you have your problem? Well, we had problems with the feather step. So they work on the feather step, okay?
And all the ways into it.
Yes,
So they really developed their forecraft.
absolutely.
Well, of course.
They knew their steps and then they knew how to put the little puzzles together
And they knew-
to make long routines.
Where one began and another began.
That's why
so
we
they-
teach
That's why-
elements.
Right.
We teach
How
one
many-
element to another element to another element.
Bonita, you work with a lot of people. How many people know precedes and follows?
Very few. And
Oh, my.
If, you know, the invigilator is invigilating, which they let a lot of things go by. Well, one thing, for example, the chasse to the right, the one that's allowed in bronze. There's so many of them, they do it along the line of dance, backing diagonal wall, and then do the outside change. So they're not turned far enough and it's not a bronze element. But I see it all the time in ballet. So they're twisting and losing their girl. So the precedes and follows are not known well at all. Or I see many times, and lots of male pros, they're doing a 5-step in silver. They think they're doing a 4-step,
Oh, yeah.
but they don't really know which one is which. I was coaching in one school some years ago, and the gentleman was doing this whole line, and the student couldn't handle it. So we were doing choreography. So let's go as far as the double reverse spin and then stop. I thought we'll do something easier for the student here. Okay, he does the whole line again. I said, well, just go to the double reverse spin, and after the double reverse spin,
Stop.
stop.
They didn't know how to stop.
He knew a routine. He did not know what the double reverse spin
But
was.
also-
Where a step ended and where something started.
Yeah, it was
But-
just a routine, and this is what he taught his
But they're like students. They think starting here all the way there. They can't start where you're asking them because they don't understand that's an element. They always have to start at the beginning of their routine or their line of dance, then go through the whole line of dance instead of just saying, I just want to see your double reverse spin. Well, I had to start all over.
Well, you know, Mr. T,
Yes.
Mr. Turnbull,
Oh, yeah.
I taught him, I don't know how many teachers he had before me, but it had been,
A lot.
at the time I taught him, it had been 20 years since he worked with the Urbans. And they gave him all his routines at
Yeah.
that time, and he did those routines for
He was with Pat Hogan then.
Okay. So we were getting ready for the Arthur Murray dance around, and I said, how about if we start in the other corner, because we're going to be in a different ballroom.
Oh.
Oh, I can't do that. I said, well, why not, Mr. T? I haven't done that in 20 years. I'll get all mixed up. I said, well, what happens to you when you go to a dance around or a competition? Why, I get all mixed up.
Really?
Maybe that's why. I said, I think
Oh,
maybe
funny.
we should try a different corner.
How fun.
Yeah, I know, but
So let's go back to your
go back to where we were.
chronological story.
Okay, so
You come to Columbus now.
we came to
Oh, yeah.
Columbus.
From
Okay.
Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we took the trip to England and came back. David was competing with a young lady from Caldwell, Ohio called Pat Hogan. And
And Pat Hogan danced with Sam, too.
wait,
Well-
this was
At
David
one time,
first.
I just remember the
Yes,
name.
He wasn't there
David
yet.
first.
Okay.
So we went to a couple of
New York, and it was a world championship.
And they
World Cup, where
Sam
everyone was
saw Pat Hogan. We had groomed Pat Hogan. We had purchased a $300 gown for her for Miss Elegance contest for all the girls in Arthur Murray to do a walk down a runway, and they picked Miss Elegance. And so we showed her how to walk. She was this little country girl who had ballet. We had her hair done with this beautiful, beautiful, elegant gown. She won Miss Elegance. Okay, so all of Arthur Murray people saw this beautiful young girl. David was competing with her. Sam, who was in New Jersey but was at the competition, saw her and drooled and lusted after. He wanted to dance with her, and he.
This is in '71.
Yes. So Ron Nace.
You did Latin with her?
I did at the New York World Championships. It was a world dance rama, but also there was a world competition with all of these Europeans coming in and watching. We did a paso doble to Edmundo Ross's paso Espagnacani. Also that night, Frank Regan and Alito Marcy did a paso doble. We got a standing ovation, and Frank didn't. He was so mad.
and Sam and we had been to an Arthur Murray competition in Mexico City, and David and
We did a threesome with lifts and stuff.
with Pat Hogan. We did a bolero with lifts, and Sam had a dance with Pat Traymore afterwards, and he did not want to do that
doing two
because
stands.
once again, Pat Hogan was so elegant. This was such a beautiful, beautiful.
It was
bolero.
it was a theatrical number.
He was lusting after her. He wanted to dance with her.
He didn't want to dance with Pat Traymore.
So he met Ron Nace, who was the owner of the Arthur Murray Studio. I managed it. So he met Ron Nace, and so Ron Nace invited him to come to Columbus. So
This is 71.
So he decided to move to Columbus. Okay, and he came, and our first welcome party. Sam went up to Pat and said that he wanted to dance with her. David was furious.
Imagine.
And of course, Sam sees this interview, he'll know. Because-
He knows I was furious.
No, yes, he knew. And Sam loves confrontation anyway. And so Pat ended up saying yes at that party. So David went storming out, crying, and doing his Hollywood thing.
No, I was a young kid.
So
I
Pat,
would be disappointed in that.
Well, it was okay because
but getting Sam here, he was also then the dance director.
I was the one who won because Sam was my mentor and he trained me for most of my tests. So even though he danced with Pat, I was happy he danced with Pat after a while. But he helped me so much and trained me. It was a godsend.
Who had trained him in New Jersey?
He was on the East Coast.
I think Derek and Nola Jones worked with him. I
But he
don't know.
worked
You'd
with
have to
Fran
ask him.
With Fran
Yeah.
Rogers.
Fran Rogers, yes.
He
definitely.
left Derek and Nola Jones,
I don't think he worked for
Arthur
him.
Murray, and then he opened his own school with his friend. I can't remember his friend's name. So he was blackballed from Arthur Murray. And all the letters went out, do not hire this
Well,
man.
Sam still has one of those letters.
Yeah, well, we've all been through that. Anyway, he ignored that and came to Columbus. So that's when he started training me, and after all that, he helped me get on the Arthur Murray dance board. So I figured he was the one that's going to get on the dance board. He was still blackballed.
But he and Pat did very well.
They did very well. They were like the North American champions.
They were on the cover of one of the
One of the Telemark. Oh, we got to talk about
Telemark dance records.
And also it was Bobby Medeiros and Sharon Hawkins. And did you ever see them?
Only pictures.
She
Fabulous.
was a
Some
thoroughbred.
with Bobby because Julius also brought Bobby to do it.
She was rhythm in
But
motion.
I only ever saw pictures of her.
She was a friend of Terry Leone's, who had moved and danced with Bobby.
Sam had told me at one point that he remembered seeing Sharon Hawkins coming towards him, I guess doing the samba walk. And it was one of those things that we never forget.
Well, she was totally.
Once again, she had beautiful feet.
You were in awe when you saw her dance. She was like a thoroughbred horse.
Yeah.
Her legs were gorgeous, and it's almost like watching someone in slow motion do all of this. Oh my Lord! But she sure had a temper.
Yeah.
With Bobby.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Because we
Well,
had
were
them
they
at our
with Arthur
school.
Murray's at that time too?
They were traveling
They were traveling. Well, Bobby Medeiros also was very.
from Boston.
But he was also good friends with the man from
Bill Wilson.
Bill Wilson in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because they had been partners. Because Bobby Medeiros planned a trip, a studio trip for Arthur Murray people, and we went on the trip with some of our students. Remember, we were put into a hotel that we had to share the bathrooms, and we left. Our students had paid something like $7,000 or $8,000 a piece to go to England and to go to Hammersmith Ballet and to go to this elegant trip. So we ended up in a hotel that had these little smaller than twin beds, with
Bed.
a sink
Twin
that's a sink in the room, but you had to use the toilet and shower one or
Down
two
the
on
way.
the floor. Our students were not used to that.
No.
So
It's very different.
I
The
was
first class
furious.
over in London was
I
not
took
first class over
all our
here.
students. I think we had 6 or 7 students and teachers. I took them when we went to the Savoy, which is a great,
Step up,
beautiful,
a few
beautiful,
steps up.
great hotel. And I don't know what the rest of the students from Chicago and Boston did, but he obviously had kept a lot of the money and really made the trip very cheap. But I took our
Did you know
students.
Bill Wilson?
It's not the same Bill Wilson that did the yearbooks, photographer.
No.
Oh no. And now, well, he changed.
But I
He was
heard the
in
name.
Florida.
I
and
did
he
hear the name.
he went from Arthur Murray's to Fred Astaire, and I think he's in Florida.
Is he still alive?
I would imagine
This
he's.
is 2017 we're talking.
Yes. He owned a school, and after him, that's when John Kimmons came to the United States to take over the franchise.
In Chicago.
All the teachers had left, but he had met his wife. Beverly, yes, Beverly came. They weren't married, but she came to help out in the school. They didn't have any teachers, and they were one of the big schools at Arthur Murray's before
They had
this.
it.
Yeah, they dropped to nothing. So he hired 3 amateur men from England to come and teach at Arthur Murray's, and they didn't know anything about
Teaching students.
teaching students. But it worked for a while. But Larry Silvers worked there too,
In Chicago?
because they hired me to do some showcases judging John Kimmons.
I have to tell you, we have to talk about you just for a moment, because I have to tell you, I first remember you in New York City,
1984.
1984.
That's when the USBC was at the Waldorf.
That's
Yes,
correct.
and then we danced
Ari-
at Madison
Madison
Square
Square
Garden.
Yes, and I remember meeting you, and I thought, what a tall, elegant woman. And then we
I was on my bare feet, if I remember.
well,
They were bleeding.
no, that's when you danced. But then after the comp, right behind the hotel was a hamburger joint.
The Burger King.
That's where we met you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And here
Waiting
you
in
come.
line.
Here you come in your hooker makeup. Everybody thought,
Well, Madison Square Garden, if you didn't have big lashes.
oh,
You were not going to be seen.
Yeah, you would
But
be-
you,
And
here
that
you
was the
are
world.
in full makeup. You were in jeans at that time, or
Yeah,
a slight-
jeans on,
jeans
t-shirt.
and t-shirt with all this makeup and bare feet. And I thought,
Bleeding.
bleeding. And you're walking in this dirty New York
City.
I know, I
sidewalk.
can't believe I did that.
I mean, it's a wonder
With
you
my
didn't.
feet, I couldn't put a
Oh,
shoe.
I
okay,
know.
they were bleeding. And I thought, God.
Did you place
What?
the top 12 then?
In the Open or in the US? We did in the United States, we were in the 12 that goes to the Latin ballroom.
I thought you
In the
did
24
well
in the
there
world.
with David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first time I met you.
Final in Stanford.
That was also the first year for junior.
Did you and Diane dance
That was
there?
the first year of junior,
So
and
you were there to dance with her, or did you have
yeah,
other students?
I danced with Diane. She
And
was
how-
10 years
how-
old. Yeah, 10 years old. And she
You
was
could
this
go on
little
YouTube
bitty
and
thing.
see all this stuff too.
She was this little thing, and all the girls, the teenage girls, were kind of big.
Trying to look adult.
Yeah,
And
and
trying to look
she was a
18
kid.
or 19.
Yeah.
she
And
was a kid.
So that's why she was so endearing, because she was this
Well, I
little...
saw you dance with her in Dayton at the showcase, and she
Yeah.
was so tiny.
Well, you and David judged, and
And did a
Diane
show.
and I.
And
It
you
was
and
in
Diane did a
Cincinnati.
show. Well, it was for the Howard. So
Yeah, it was,
You were Dayton or Cincinnati?
Yes,
She was Dayton.
yeah, and yeah, we did a little
And she always was
demonstration.
tiny, but
Yeah.
she was a little girl then. Her little girl.
Yeah.
shoes.
Yes, and with her little
Very cute.
socks and little
Yes, very
cute little socks. But she could kick and she could use hands. And, I
Yeah,
mean, she danced like
Well,
that.
we
on
have that
YouTube.
video of you dancing waltz with her.
yeah.
And it was beautiful.
She's
Actually,
phenomenal.
It was beautiful.
Her legs, she extended, and her
Her ballet
arms, she was
training.
like, she turned out and she would curtsy all the way down, and I did the best I could with her. And she turned pro, and it just didn't work out.
Going back to the pros now, coming in from England, the older coaches started talking about the money that they were making. And so then we started having some of the younger professionals moving to the United States because there was money to be made. You know, ballroom dancing in Europe never made money for a professional. The most they could hope for was to have a little family style studio to teach in that neighborhood, hoping that maybe grow bigger and bigger. But the money that they heard about in that great America, there's so much to be made. And all of the top pros from England were coming here to coach and making such a tremendous amount of money. The other young professionals started hearing about it. So they started immigrating here. And this is before England was a place where you had the top professional dancers. Germany started having top professionals.
Yeah.
Italy came much, much later.
Much later.
Much later. The Russian countries,
The Russians weren't even around then.
but they were starting.
Yeah.
And I was very amazed in England the number of Asians from Japan who would come and spend a year in England. But they seemed to not come to the United States, but receive their training and go back to Japan or
They were only
to
just
China.
tall.
But technically very,
Oh, they were
Very
terrific.
good. I mean,
They were terrific.
very
The
much
culture is
technicians.
very
Well, yes, in
Very disciplined. They
Japan,
have discipline.
in China, it developed, and in all of the Asian countries, ballroom dancing was huge. It became huge.
But the professions Asians from the Asian countries never seemed to come to the United States. They started coming from England first, before any place. And they saw the pro-am, that's where the money was. You know, becoming a professional did not make you a fortune.
And Canada was not doing pro-ams yet.
Yeah.
They
So-
were only amateur or pro.
So they saw what was being done at the franchise studios, you know, the dance-oramas and the competitions. The dance-oramas started becoming competitions. And then
Were they showcases before that? Were they
mostly
shows?
showcases. And then places like Edgewater Beach, Cherry Hill, which had international dancing in a pro-am situation, a pro-am format. And it was becoming so popular. And Americans were wanting to learn this new glamorous international style of dancing instead of American. And because it was so disciplined and you so structured.
Technical.
Yes, many people like that. Many people have that kind of mentality. So a lot of people took that instead of American style. And I think that's what started the influx, Europeans moving to the United States. And then they came in droves. And you know what happened next? And it changed the whole, I think the whole structure of the dance world, which was before franchise studios. Then the franchise studios had such control over their employees that they didn't allow them any freedom.